So today we're going to be taking some time to review Unit 3 from Fundations. So just like last week, these are just real quick reviews of units that we've already, been on. We landed on Unit 9 when all of this happened, so most of this should be a lot of review for you and should be fairly simple, okay? So looking at Unit 3, two of the most important things that we talked about were our vowel teams and our closed syllable exceptions. If you remember correctly, we had our vowel teams poster, which I wasn't able to grab off our wall, so I actually just rewrote it right here. So hopefully this looks a little familiar to you. The poster had the pictures, but I obviously am not the best artist. My kids know that. So when we talked about vowel teams in Unit 3, we basically were just drilling them out to make sure that we remembered those sounds. So at this time, I want you to drill them with me, or you may listen to me drill them and then pause the video and try it on your own. So we have A-I, bait A, E-Y, key E, E-A, eat E, O-Y, boy oi, A-Y, play A, E, Jeep, E, and O-I, coin, oi. Okay? And that's really as far as we got with vowel teams in Unit 3, was just remembering those sounds that they make. Okay? And then we also talked about our closed syllable exceptions. And if you remember right, exceptions just means that that doesn't necessarily follow the rule. Okay? Now in Unit 2, last week I did a video on closed syllable. So if at this point you're asking yourself, well, I don't even know what a closed syllable is, go back to that video and make sure you understand that before we get to our exceptions, okay? So if you remember right, we have 5 closed syllable exceptions. So we'll drill those real quick before we talk about what they are. So we have ILD, wild, isled, IND, find, eind, OLD, cold, old, OLT, colt, olt, and OST, post, ost, okay? And right away you should be recognizing that these are closed syllable exceptions because all of the vowels here are saying their name. They're long vowels, okay? And a closed syllable, remember, always had a short vowel. So whenever we see these in a word, we know to read that with a long vowel because that's what makes it that exception. Okay, so we're going to take a look at some of our words of the day for Unit 3 to help us understand that part a little better. So if we look at our word mind, if we were going to tap that word out, we would say eind, mind, okay? IND is still a glued sound, so it's stuck together. We get 2 taps and it makes a long vowel because it's a closed syllable exception, okay? Now the way that we mark up our closed syllable exceptions is we would scoop our syllable, we would write a C, just like if we were doing a closed syllable. So remember, this is how you mark up a closed syllable, but to mark it as an exception, we go ahead and we cross out, and you can just cross it once or cross it twice, but you're crossing out that C, showing that it is an exception. And the reason being is because it has that long vowel, okay? I'm gonna have you see the other word of the day, which is bolt. So if we were gonna tap that out, it'd be b-olt, bolt. Again, we're tapping twice because of that glued sound that is a closed syllable exception. So I want you to pause the video and see if you can mark this word up on your own. Okay, great. So hopefully you have marked that word up as a closed syllable exception. So again, we're gonna scoop our syllable, put our C for closed syllable, and then we're going to cross it off because it is an exception. Okay, we also are going to mark our vowel as a long vowel.